August 5, 1888. Germany. Bertha Benz and her sons Richard and Eugene drive from Mannheim to Pforzheim. This is an episode from the German movie Karl and Bertha produced in 2011. This is the first long-distance trip of Karl Benz's self-propelled cart working on naphtha. In 12 hours, the travelers made 106 kilometers. Fans of the Benz brand call Bertha the inventor of long-distance car rallies. Yes, there was the first repair on the road. Since then, for many decades drivers were fixing their cars with intimate costume element. Yes. For the first time the car was refueled on the way. The forerunner of gas stations was a pharmacy. By the way, it was also the first stealing of a vehicle. After all, Bertha took the crew without the permission of the owner, that is, her husband Karl. That historic trip ended up safely. But God is a witness, this was not the first rally. A quarter of a century before Bertha Benz, in 1863 the French engineer Etienne Lenoir drove 18 kilometers from Paris to the nearby Juanville-le-Pont and back. At that time, for a self-propelled wagon traveling at a pedestrian speed, it was quite a distance to go. Hippomobile was powered by the first ever, commercially successful spark-ignited internal combustion engine. You see one of restored Lenoir's gas motors. The single-cylinder mechanism used lighting gas, the basis of which were hydrogen and methane. Lenoir sold almost 500 of its engines with a capacity of 6 to 20 horsepower. 145 years after Etienne Lenoir's trip, Russian Gazprom began a large-scale international project, the Blue Corridor. This is a series of annual rallies of factory-built natural gas vehicles, NGVs. In 2003, the UN Economic Commission for Europe published the report of an international group of experts led by Gazprom and the Vernadsky Foundation. The report confirmed the environmental and economic benefits of using natural gas in international road transport. Seeing is believing. So Gazprom decided to demonstrate gas vehicles in real life. This could be done through NGV rallies with roundtables, exhibitions of gas equipment, and interviews with specialists for invited politicians, managers, experts and media. So, on September 17, 2008, the first natural gas rally Blue Corridor, ever, took off. By today's standards, the scale of the rally was more than modest. In 3 driving days it was necessary to travel 850 kilometers and hold 4 professional events. In that rally, we tested not so much gas vehicles as the concept and organization of the project. The practical result of the first NGV rally was that 6 pilot methane buses appeared in Veliki Novgorod next spring. And now there are more than 100 of them. Domestic and foreign-made cars, trucks, and buses of various classes and purposes, participated in the rally. The gas marathon confirmed the viability of a strategy for the combined development of a network of gas stations and technical services in centers of economic activity, and along transport corridors connecting them. To understand the imperative of switching transport to gas, it is enough to drive along a busy highway and keep in mind that emissions from your vehicle will travel in the atmosphere over 400 to 500 kilometers. The second rally Blue Corridor 2009, Caucasus, drove from Moscow to Sochi, thus expanding NGV gasway from the Baltic to the Black Sea. 16 methane vehicles made 2,900 kilometers and 7 communications events. At one of the pit stops vehicles were refueled by a mobile station. For the first time, CNG vehicles, including heavy-duty buses and trucks, have victoriously challenged mountain serpentines. In 2010 the Blue Corridor Rally visited major Russian vehicle manufacturers to promote mass production of natural gas vehicles. Currently, CNG buses are manufactured at Liaz, Nefaz, Volgabus, Pars in Russia, as well as by MAZ in Belarus. Methane-breathing trucks are produced in Kamaz, Uralaz, and Gaz. Lada and UAZ offer different CNG cars. In the spring of 2011, the Blue Corridor Rally drove from Prague to Lubmin, where the subsea gas pipeline Nord Stream lands. Nord Stream 2 will eventually come here too. Alexei Miller and Klaus Schäfer, heads of Gazprom and E.ON, launched the NGV Rally collocated to the annual meeting of the European Business Congress. In autumn 2011 we made one more rally, this time in Russia. Gas Marathon connected the most important economic regions of the country, the Urals, the Volga region, and the center. The rally confirmed the possibility of driving heavy-duty NGVs through the entire European part of Russia. During this trip, all vehicles ran only on CNG, and never used gasoline or diesel. It became clear that future belongs to heavy-duty NGVs. In 2012, the time has come to hold a long-distance rally in Europe. Russia, Belarus, Poland, the Czech Republic, Germany, France, and Belgium were connected by the Blue Corridor named 7 capitals. 18 NGVs with flying colors drove along the European Northwestern Transport Corridor from Moscow to Paris. Blue Corridor 2013 Hansa Rally had 2 outstanding features. First, the marathon was routed around Baltic Sea, along the medieval Hanseatic Road. CNG and LNG infrastructure was rapidly developing in the region, and we drove all the way on gas, without using gasoline or diesel. The second remarkable feature was that our gas vehicles sailed from Turku to Stockholm, on board the first in the Baltic's LNG-powered ferry, Viking Grace. We had a privilege to visit the engine compartments and control rooms to learn about environmental and economic benefits of LNG, used for marine bunkering. In 2014, our NGV Rally drove along one of the most active transport corridors in Europe, from the Baltic to the Adriatic regions. It runs through 3/4 of European countries where goods shall be delivered by natural gas vehicles. In 2015, the 26th International Gas Conference was held in Paris. The Rally Blue Corridor Eiffel Tours timed to match with this event. Natural gas cars reached from St. Petersburg to Paris and were triumphantly shown in at the conference exhibition. In 2016, the second Baltic Rally took place. It was named the Amber Road. The rally emphasized the use of LNG in road and marine transport, bunkering techniques and technologies, as well as their environmental, legal and economic aspects were carefully investigated at a dedicated conference in the port city of Rostock. During the Blue Corridor rallies, the dream of a trans-European round trip, longer than 10,000 kilometers, was repeatedly discussed. Such marathon was finally organized in 2017. Our mission was to drive a caravan of gas-powered automobiles from St. Petersburg to Lisbon and back. More than 40 CNG and LNG vehicles of different makes and classes took part in 11,000 kilometers long rally. Participants of the rally have proved that on-road CNG and LNG vehicles can continuously drive without gasoline or diesel through most countries of Europe. One can go from Yekaterinburg to Lisbon, and from Sochi to Gothenburg. Gas vehicles cause less damage to nature and cost cheaper in operation. It makes no sense to question these findings. Global NGV fleet accounts for almost 30 million automobiles. Last year they consumed almost 40 billion cubic meters of gas, both CNG and LNG. The world network of gas filling stations beats 32,000 sites. 2018 was a remarkable year in the history of the Blue Corridor and gas into engines methane rallies. The longest NGV marathon drove from the city of Rudong in China to St. Petersburg in Russia. Considering the 2017 rally from Lisbon to St. Petersburg, the first transcontinental NGV corridor from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean was paved. The launch of this corridor depends on the accelerated development of the network of CNG and LNG filling stations in China, Kazakhstan, and Russia. In 2019, the Blue Corridor Rally connected Istanbul and Lubmin. These two play an important role in the global energy market. Not far from Istanbul, the Turkish Stream underwater gas pipeline comes ashore. Another pipeline, Nord Stream 1, lands near Lubmin in Germany. This will also be the landing point of Nord Stream 2. There is a very promising NGV market between the Black and Baltic Seas. In 2020, the Blue Corridor NGV Rally was intended to celebrate the 50th anniversary of first contracts to supply natural gas from the Soviet Union to Germany. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, this plan was not implemented. However, on and offline roundtables are organized in the countries along the original route. So, the International Blue Corridor project keeps rolling. Let us hope that in 2021 we will return to our usual format. See you on the road driving a natural gas vehicle.